Hello, friends. This is Sam Cheney reporting for Weaponized News. Today, May 14th, 2025. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday edition of Weaponized News. Yesterday's show was a banger, as the kids say. Here it is. I can't even say the words. We were not on YouTube, as we're towing the line there of their community guidelines. But for those that missed it, I would go check it out. Here is the thumbnail, and you can read it. This gentleman right here, Masters in Public Health, went over a bunch of his peer-reviewed scientific studies, proving this headline right here with their own science. And so go follow this gentleman. He's administrator over there at the McCullough Foundation. And yeah, he's getting it done. He's putting out great work over there. And we pretty much, we exposed the whole thing yesterday. Again, for the 100th time. But very convincing, very powerful show yesterday. Everyone should go. Definitely check that out. I think you will enjoy it, as many have already. Are we on the Rumble? Looks like Rumble may be working today. Looks like it, possibly. Anybody on the Rumble? Chloe's there. Hello, Chloe. Thank you for joining us. I don't know where everybody else went. Well, yeah, so Rumble's back up and working, apparently. I don't know where everybody went today. We scared them off. Or there's a better show on or something. I don't know. Okay. What do we got to get to today? Well, we missed the regular news yesterday for that very special interview that we had. So today, Trump's over there in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, making all these deals for the military-industrial complex, scientific dictatorship, technocracy. We love it. We can't wait till the humanoid robots take over. And they're rolling out right now. We got a video from Musk of a dancing one. And so, yeah, it's going to be wonderful. The 15-minute cities where everything is surveilled every second of every day. You basically have a microphone and a camera up your rear end. Yeah, we love it. Universal basic income. There'll be no more jobs. And then you have to do whatever the government says, or you don't get your rations for that week or month. And yeah, you got to take all their medicine. You got to follow all their edicts, whatever it is. And so isn't prison going to be wonderful, even though you haven't committed a crime except for being a human on this planet? And so it's going to be wonderful, I tell you. So we have all that to go over. The $1.2 trillion Qatar deal, the $600 billion Saudi Arabia deal. Hey, weren't those guys 16 of the 19 hijackers from Saudi Arabia on 9/11? Oh, never mind. We have some clips about that where actually Trump brings that up. He brought it up, obviously not over there today or yesterday, but he brought it up in the past. And that's the official story still. But yeah, who cares? Let's bomb some country that had nothing to do with it, like Iraq or Afghanistan for that matter. You know what I mean? And so we're still in the war on terror. We're still looking for those terrorists. Aardvarks are still looking for Hamas. Oh, they're bombing the hell out of everything again today. It's full on war there. Bibi had said, we have video of them. Quote from the headline. I had to shorten it up to get in the headline, but our dear shadow president, Bibi, there will be no solution. He says, to quote him now, there will be no situation where we stop the war. But what about the hostages, man? They never cared about the hostages. Yeah, well, we continue to report that. And but your fake news Mockingbird media out there puts on the show And out of the other, they talk out both sides of their mouth, right? Oh, we care about the hostages. And then they're like, hostages? Who cares about hostages? We're taking this land. You understand? And so, yeah, they're bombing the hell out of them again today. They bombed a hospital, yesterday, to get the Hamas leader. How many leaders does Hamas have? Apparently a lot. Aardvarks target Hamas leader Mohammed Sinwar in a hospital strike? Yes, indeed. The genocide continues there. Allegedly, the new aid organization led by the United States is going to start delivering food there and supplies. Yeah, it's more lies, right? I'll believe it when I see it. They are using starvation as a weapon. The aardvarks are, that is. So we got that. What do we got? Bobby Kennedy testifying today was interrupted by protesters protesting about Gaza, actually. I don't know why they're protesting Bobby Kennedy Jr. He is a big aardvark fan, but honestly, it has nothing to do with foreign policy. So, anyway, we have that protest video. We have, what else do we got? We got California ridiculousness, Gavin Newsom ridiculousness. Gavin Newsom's now walking back free health care for illegal aliens because now we have a budget deficit here in the state of California. Newsom first announced in glowing reports for the headlines, right? All fake, all lies, which all these California budgets are. And they always do the same thing, but this year was extra special because everybody knows the state's in financial trouble. But earlier in the year, Gavin Newsom announced a $363 million budget surplus for the state of California. Now in his May revision, he's announcing a $16 billion deficit. And so wouldn't you know, he lied again. The government lied again. Shocking, I know. What else do we got today? Some geopolitical news. There's dust-ups happening. Some dust-ups happening in Libya, Myanmar, maybe India, Pakistan. Looks like they have a ceasefire here now, but we've seen how these, quote, ceasefires go. They say ceasefire and they keep shooting each other. So we'll have to wait and see how that sorts out. But it looks like they stopped shooting each other for the moment. We're anxiously awaiting the Russia-Ukraine peace talks. Hopefully they can get that settled in Turkey. Little Marco is over there in Turkey for a NATO informal foreign ministers meeting. All of that and a lot more on this Wednesday edition of Weaponized News. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I do see some people coming through in the chat. So, again, it looks like Rumble's working. So, I don't know what happened to everybody on the Rumble chat today. They took the day off. Well, you're going to miss a good one. And again, if you missed yesterday's show, go back and watch it where we thoroughly, it's beyond the pale at this point. We have all the science. We have the firsthand testimony. We have all the evidence that anybody could ever want to pull the miracle from the market here now. But yet they still refuse. And so then the only other answer is they're doing it on purpose at this point, which we knew the entire time they were, but now it's proven in spades that indeed they are doing all this on purpose, and they know damn well what they are doing, and it's unforgivable. It's truly unforgivable. and they never will regain trust. I don't know what they think they're going to do. Just, I guess it's back to collapsing the institutions on purpose. I guess replace everything with AI is going to be the plan. And you think you can trust Skynet, Terminator robots? I guess the majority out there will, because the public institutions have done everything in their power to totally destroy trust and destroy themselves. Double, triple, quadruple down on failure, fraud, force, coercion. That is their policy now. Just never-ending lies. You're like, here's the proof, and they just gaslight you. It doesn't exist, or we ban you, we censor you, and it's like, well, okay then. You know what I mean? You guys are beyond the pale now in public health institutions across this country. It's just, I don't even have words. Watch the show yesterday, and we lay it all out for everybody, and undeniable facts, peer-reviewed scientific studies. They don't care. You know what I mean? And then they scream science in your face, and you're like, no, here's that peer-reviewed study that you guys said is the science, and they don't care. They just scream in your face, and it's like, wow, they really are psychopaths. All right, let's get to this day in history. There's Karen. Hello, Karen. Thank you for joining us on the Rumble. It is working now, fully back integrated again. And Highland as well. Some people are coming on in the chat. Okay, on this day in history of May 14th, going back to the year 1610, Henry IV of France is assassinated by fanatical Catholic Francis Ravlic, who stabs him to death in the streets of Paris. Quite horrific there. We do tend to have a problem here with religious fanatics, don't we? That want to kill everybody in God's name. In 1643, Louis XIV became king of France at the age of 4 years old. That's crazy. How are you going to make a 4-year-old king? But they did. In 1787, delegates gather in Philadelphia to draw up the Constitution of the United States. A lot of good that did us. In 1863, we saw a horrific battle in the Civil War, the Battle of Jackson, Mississippi. In 1884, the Anti-Monopoly Party forms in the United States. We need to form another anti-monopoly party here in the United States as the vertical integration of the economy continues. And you got these big tech monopolies basically taking over everything, man. And every other little guy, little competitor, they buy them up and suck them up into the monopoly. Or duopoly, what you could call it an oligopoly, and call it the oligarchy. And they've been in power for a long time. Apparently Democrats are just waking up to this fact right now. But it's always those damn right-wingers. Too bad they couldn't see it when their guy was in office. I know, it's a dying shame. And now the right-wingers, MAGA, can't see it when their guy's in office. And we keep playing the stupid left-right game, don't we? On this day, this one is crazy. Let me go back. Oh, I already hold on. This one's crazy. On this day, let me look it back up because I was too lazy to write this one down. On this day in 1945, the highest human radiation dose, and so this is why we should always trust doctors. Because this guy shot up a guy without his knowledge even. Let me get to the exact report. And this is a great proof was trust doctors. I trust the doctors. I trust the science. And why wouldn't you? Highest human dose of radiation in 1945, physician Joseph G. Hamilton injects misdiagnosed, but I thought we were supposed to trust our doctors. Injects misdiagnosed cancer patient Albert Stevens with with the largest known dose of, at that time, of plutonium ever injected into a human without his knowledge. But he trusted his doctor. Stevens lives another 20 years. See, it wasn't that bad. Surviving the highest known accumulated radiation dose in any human ever. And see, the trust for his doctor worked out. He lived 20 more years with the most, after having the the most radiation in his body, the most plutonium ever injected. And so isn't that wonderful? Of course, with no informed consent, without his knowledge. And that's why we trust the science and our doctors right there. One example of millions. Moving on to another great day for celebration here. In 1948, on this day, Aardvark land declared independence from Britain. Yep, from the British administration. There you go. Who are the puppet masters here now? In 1969, we saw the last Chevy Corvair built. And so that's a day for mourning with that little mid-engine car that had all those issues. The Chevy Corvair. Even though they did have kind of a sporty body, but that car had a lot of issues. In 2018, on this day, another great day of celebration, the United States moves its Aardvark embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And in 2022, U.S. records 1 million bat deaths. As we've gone over ad nauseum here on the show, it wasn't the bats, it was the hospitals. Thank you very much. All right. What's our segue? This crazy guy, I forget even his name. Who is this guy? It's a Democrat. I want to say is he out of Texas? Anyway, this guy cracks me up now. It's between him and Jasmine Crockett, my favorite politician. Let's watch a couple clips of this character. You guys remember this guy? He's has filed the articles of impeachment against Trump. And sorry, I didn't even look up his name, but you'll remember him.
And nobody has said to me, Mr. Tanadar, the 7 articles of impeachment that you presented to the U.S. Congress, they're piece of shit. You know, they're not good. You missed the point. They're not legally right. He didn't do that. No.
It was his name Thandar. This guy. Next clip from him. Oh, this guy is a funny one. Is he a comedian? Are they pranking us here? Are they? What the hell? I can't even think what it is. Are they pranking us? But that other stupid show that was where they would do the pranks.
Blatant violation of his constitutional duties. There is no doubt about it, and not a single member of Democratic Party. You can ask even some Democrats have called me lunatic, just like the president has called me lunatic.
This guy. Shuri Thandar, Democrat out of, where is he? Is that Missouri? I think that's Missouri. MI is Missouri. This guy's funny, man. It's like, are you pranking? I think they're pranking us with this guy. It can't be real, but it is. He's giving press conferences. Okay, that's the segue to the news. And here's the propaganda from the White House. Trump on his visit to Saudi Arabia. Truly disgusting.
Believe in peace through strength. You have to have the strength. I believe it is God's job to sit in judgment, my job to defend America, and to promote the fundamental interest of stability, prosperity, and peace. We had 52 days of thunder and lightning on the Houthis in Yemen like they've never seen before. This was a swift, ferocious, decisive, and extremely successful use of military force. So we hit them hard, we got what we came for, and then we got out. The gleaming marvels of Riyadh and Abu Dhabi were not created by the so-called nation builders, neocons, or liberal nonprofits. The birth of a modern Middle East has been brought by the people of the region themselves. Peace, prosperity, and progress ultimately came not from a radical rejection of your heritage, but rather from embracing your national traditions and embracing that same heritage that you love so dearly.
There you go. Saudi Arabia first. We love it. But wait a minute. I thought they were, nah. It was Saddam Hussein attacked us on 9/11, right? President Trump and the leaders of the Gulf Cooperation Council in Riyadh. Here's a thumbnail of it, zoomed out a little bit. And there they are. Tyrannical maniacs. President Trump arrives in Doha, Qatar. How do you say it? You say Qatar, right? Qatar? It's Qatar, right? Qatar? I think it's Qatar, right? I think so. Anyway, trying to figure out the right pronunciation. I'm going to pronounce it how it sounds. Qatar. Here's the red carpet for Trump, his entrance into Qatar. Yeah, bunch of grown men wearing dresses. Wouldn't have it any other way. They're not weirdos. It's fine. Here is Qatari police escorting Trump's motorcade with Tesla Cybertrucks. Yep. Take a look at this. There's no audio on this. See the Cybertrucks painted red there, or they got the red hood? I don't know, man. We're in this dystopic sci-fi movie, and they just keep rubbing it right in our face. We got more of the dystopia videos of these robots. The White House says the Trump effect, $1.2 trillion economic commitment in Qatar. Isn't this wonderful? And when they give Trump that Boeing 747, $500 million plane, but he's just using it as president, as Air Force One. It's donated to the Pentagon, apparently, or the Defense Department. Basically one and the same. So yeah, big economic deals. I'm sure we're all going to get our Doge $5,000 checks, right? No, you're not. Actually, you're going to get enslavement. Is what you and I are going to get, the scientific dictatorship, technocracy, total enslavement grid, while they throw around their trillions of dollars in their 747 jets and literally laugh in our face. Boeing inks record deal for Qatar Airways to buy up to 210 planes. Whoop-de-friggin-do. Does nothing for me. I guess maybe if your Boeing stockholder does something for you, I don't know. Boeing has secured an agreement to sell Qatar Airways up to 210 aircraft. Qatar Airways signed an agreement with GE Aerospace for more than 400 engines to power the Boeing planes. Boeing CEO appeared alongside President Trump in Doha for a signing ceremony on the deal for the 787 Dreamliner and 777X planes. The deal could draw more scrutiny toward President Trump's defense of Qatar's offer to gift the U.S. a luxury 747 jet that will act as the new Air Force One. Why would anybody criticize it? He's getting it free, right? And of course Qatar just throws around $500 million planes, and they don't want anything. They're not expecting anything in return for it. You know what I mean? They're philanthropists, and charitable, just like Bill Gates. Don't you understand? Those are the two big ones, the Boeing and GE Aerospace deal so far. What else do we know about this 1.2 trillion? McDermott has a strong partnership with Qatari Energy in advancing critical energy infrastructure with 7 active projects worth $8.5 billion. As the sole provider of offshore components for Qatar's major LNG expansion, Parsons has successfully won up to 30 projects worth up to $97 billion. These are high-valued engagement. These high-valued engagements have fueled significant company growth, supporting thousands of jobs across the U.S. Really? Quantum finalized a joint venture agreement with Al Raban Capital, a prominent Qatari company, to invest up to $1 billion in state-of-the-art quantum technologies and workforce development in the United States, supporting U.S. jobs and leadership in this critical emerging technology. Train the AI so it can take your job. We love it. We love it. Oh, what's this? Raytheon? You ask about Raytheon, old school military industrial complex. They got a little bit too. They secured a $1 billion agreement for Qatar's acquisition of counter drone capabilities. Isn't that nice for them? General Atomics. We wouldn't want to leave them out. So it was a jubilee of money for the military industrial complex. General Atomics secured a nearly $2 billion agreement with Qatar's acquisition of the MQ-9B remotely piloted aircraft system. Isn't that wonderful for them? The United States and Qatar also signed a statement of intent to further strengthen our security partnership, outlining over $38 billion in potential investment, including support for burden sharing at Al Udeed, not AI, Al Udeed Air Base, and future defense capabilities related to air defense and maritime security. So, yeah, the military industrial complex made a whole bunch of money. They act like we're getting jobs. Very few and far between, factually. I guess if you're an engineer at one of these companies or whatever, the munition makers, then you're probably doing pretty well. But the rest of us, not so much. Not so much. Oh, you felt bad about Exxon? Well, don't you worry. Exxon also got in on the action here. They're also part of the Qatar Energy initiated $18 billion investment in U.S. energy sector with ExxonMobil's Golden Pass LNG terminal and Chevron Phillips Chemicals Golden Triangle Polymers plant. That was another $8 billion, both to be located on the Texas Gulf Coast. They're in the Gulf of Mexico. Oh no, censor me. Sorry, Gulf of America. Gulf of America. Qatar is America's 12th largest foreign military sales partner, with active cases valued at more than $26 billion. So isn't that wonderful? We just armed up Qatar to the teeth. And so that's just wonderful. Will they attack Aardvark land? You better not lose any sleep over that. Okay. Here's a short clip. Secretary of Defense Hegseth, Mr. Signalgate. Let's watch this signing with the guys wearing the the outfits here. I don't know who you trust, the guys in the suits or the guys in the dresses. Probably none of them, right?
Firstly, a letter, a statement of intent on defense cooperation between the state of Qatar and the United States of America.
There you go. It's official. We love Qatar. Why? They're throwing a lot of money at us. Here's a flashback to 2016 where Trump implies that Saudi Arabia was responsible for 9/11. Wonder where he got that idea.
15 years ago, we didn't have people coming around. I mean, the whole thing. And in all fairness, we went after Iraq. They did not knock down the World Trade Center, okay? It wasn't the Iraqis that knocked down the World Trade Center. We went after Iraq. We decimated the country. Iran's taken over, okay. But it wasn't the Iraqis. You will find out who really knocked down the World Trade Center because they have papers in there that are very secret. You may find it's the Saudis, okay? But you will find out. But it wasn't Iraq. So you say, but when I look at a guy like Lindsey Graham, then I hear his theory on the war. You'll be in there forever. You'll be in there, and you'll end up starting World War III with a guy like that, too. We don't want World War III over Syria. Okay, we don't want world. Do we agree with that? We don't want World War. But I watched him on Fox today. I have never seen a guy that, I don't think I've ever seen a guy so totally out of control. They mentioned my name. He went literally crazy. 15 years.
But now Trump loves Lindsey Graham. Shows you how fake it really all is. Bring back political duels, and if these guys are serious, they take it out in the street, and it would prove that it's all theater and all fake, and it's all bullshit, and they're playing us. Well, they're not playing us, our audience, because we're hip to the game over here, right? But the large majority out there that still believe there's a political solution to this tyranny we find ourselves under. So Highland says, is there any truth to changing the Pacific to American Ocean? Yeah, we're going to change the name of all the oceans to American Ocean. And so there used to be 7 seas around the world. Now they're all America Ocean. How you like that? America. Okay. And then here's Trump today. Is this, I don't know. I'm not an expert on these things, but I don't know. Let's take a look at this handshake. Is this a Masonic handshake? I don't know. Maybe. Oh, they'll flag me for copyright for YMCA. God forbid. Play it for like 5 seconds in the background. Anyway, I don't know. They got all kind of different handshakes. You could look up the charts where they're like this, that. I don't know, man. But yeah. So now we're best buddies with Saudi Arabia allegedly here. Oh, look at this. Here's CBS News telling us all about. This is an older clip, but was it the 28 pages implicate Saudi Arabia here now in 9/11? Let's watch this. New evidence of Saudi connection to 9/11. Remember all this?
The CBS News exclusive, the unnerving video outside the U.S. Capitol, filmed 2 years before the 9/11 attacks. Good evening, I'm Nora O'Donnell, and thank you for being with us. 2 decades ago, the 9/11 Commission found that Al-Qaeda acted alone, but victims' families say that is not true, pointing to this video and other evidence as proof. They are suing Saudi Arabia, claiming its government provided crucial assistance to the hijackers and planners behind the September 11th attacks that killed nearly 3,000 people. 60 Minutes correspondent Cecilia Vega reports.
A voice on the video says in Arabic, "I am transmitting these scenes to you from the heart of the American capital, Washington." This video, unsealed in federal court this week and obtained by 60 Minutes, was recorded in the summer of 1999. The man behind the camera is Omar al-Bayoumi, who the FBI says was an operative of the Saudi intelligence service with close ties to two of the 9/11 hijackers.
Time is 6 p.m.
The video was filmed over several days. Bayoumi recorded entrances and exits of the Capitol, security posts, a model of the building, and nearby landmarks.
Monument.
In this portion of the video, Bayoumi points out the Washington Monument and says, "I will get over there and report to you in detail what is there." He also notes the airport is not far away.
What I see Bayoumi doing is going out and making a detailed video record of the Capitol from all its sides and then conducting that 360-degree panoramic view. GS-11.
Richard Lambert is a retired FBI agent who led the initial 9/11 investigation in San Diego.
Yeah, so, what the hell? Let's sign a $600 billion arms deal with them. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
Did you watch those pictures?
$6 billion Saudi investment secured, boosting U.S. energy, defense, tech, and critical minerals for the golden age of America. We're in the golden age here now of America. See that?
Did you wash those dishes? Wash your plants?
President Trump secures historic $600 billion investment commitment in Saudi Arabia. Isn't this wonderful? Building economic ties that will endure for generations to come. Saudi Arabia Data Vault is moving forward with plans to invest $20 billion in AI data centers and energy infrastructure in the United States. But wait a minute, weren't they just implicated in the biggest terrorist attack on U.S. soil in history of America? Like 25 years ago, that 9/11? Who cares? Bring in the AI data centers and let them secure energy infrastructure in America. Google, Data Vault, Oracle, Salesforce, AMD, and Uber are committing to invest $80 billion in cutting-edge transformative technology in both America and Saudi Arabia. Isn't this all wonderful? Again, American companies including Hill International, Jacobs, Parsons, AE, Calm are building key infrastructure projects like King Salman International Airport, King Salman Park, The Vault, Quadi City, and much more, totaling $2 billion in U.S. services exports. Major exports include GE Vernvaz gas turbines and energy solutions totaling $14.2 billion, and Boeing 737-8 passenger airlines for AV lease totaling $4.8 billion in the healthcare sector, where we all need help. As we know, Shamku, the Fourth Solutions LLC, will be investing $5.8 billion, including a plant in Michigan to launch a high-capacity IV fluid facility. Investment partnerships include several sector-specific funds with a strong emphasis on U.S. deployment, such as the $5 billion Energy Investment Fund and $5 billion New Era Aerospace and Defense Technology Fund, and $4 billion In-Field Sports Global Sports Fund, each channeling substantial capital into American industries, driving innovation and creating high quality jobs across the United States. Really? Really? What else? Those are the highlights from the $6 billion or $600 billion Saudi deal that was just signed. And what are the implications for BRICS and all this? I don't know. We'll have to see. Looks like Qatar and Saudi Arabia are back on the dollar. Looks like they're back on the dollar here. Saudi Arabia remains our largest foreign military sales partner, with active cases valued at more than $129 billion. Our defense relationship with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is stronger than ever under President Trump's leadership. And the package signed, the largest defense cooperation deal in U.S. history, is a clear demonstration of America's commitment to strengthening our partnership with the guys that attacked us on 9/11, or at least had a part in it. So isn't this all wonderful? MAGA should love it, shouldn't they? Yeah, and the smart city. Oh, but first, of course, without the oligarchs, who's America, who's Trump, without all our tech bro oligarchs that want to get rid of humans and be merged with the machines to their transhumanist religion. Let's watch this clip of all the tech oligarchs. They're all bros, don't you worry about it. As they march us into this dystopic nightmare faster than ever. Terminator was a documentary. Here are your tech oligarch bros. See there, of course, to wrap it up with Alex Karp, CEO of Palantir. It's all for America, right? MAGA. As they build the technocracy, technate literally in our face. Trump's $6 billion deal with Saudi Arabia for Vision 2030 and the Neom Smart City project. Let's watch this clip. Isn't this exciting? Remember that stupid straight line city they want to build in the middle of the desert over there in Saudi Arabia? It's prison, basically. But it's all high tech and fancy. And so don't you call it a prison, or you may be beheaded in Saudi Arabia and deported from America for criticizing such a monstrosity of a project. Let's watch this clip from CBS.
Look at this, that lavender carpet there rolled out for the president at the royal court. And there he is walking with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Lavender is a symbol of growth and prosperity. The two leaders further solidifying their economic alliance by signing a $600 billion investment commitment. Before that, President Trump had this to say about the relationship between the two. Listen.
We have, as you know, we have the biggest business leaders in the world here, and they're going to walk away with a lot of checks for a lot of things that you're going to provide. And in the United States, it's probably 2 million jobs that we're talking about this visit. So, number one, I like visiting with you, and we've known each other very well, and I really believe we like each other a lot. And number two, for the United States, we've brought tremendous investment in and tremendous jobs, and will continue to service your great country very well.
All right, let's bring in CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand following the trip live from the White House for us. Good to see you, Natalie. Can you walk us through what was included in the agreement we just mentioned?
Hi, Mugo. Good to be with you. We're still waiting to get some more details, but the White House a short time ago did put out just a preliminary fact sheet on what it calls the $600 billion investment commitment made in Saudi Arabia. Note that that was a number, $600 billion, initially floated by the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman back in January, right after President Trump took office. So what we know so far, according to the Trump administration, is that this agreement includes around $142 billion in defense sales, it says, to build up the capacity of the Saudi armed forces. It also includes some investment in the United States, including $20 billion in AI data centers and energy infrastructure, including $20 billion in AI data centers and energy infrastructure.
What is Neom? This is Neom, or here, to be more precise, in the northwest of Saudi Arabia. But Neom is more than a place. It's a home for people who dream big. Bigger than that. That's more like it. It'll be a hub for innovation, an entirely new model for sustainable living, the vision for a new future. In fact, that's how it got its name. But what will be there? There's Oxagon, a thriving city at the crossroads of the world, where advanced manufacturing will enable industries of the future. Trojana, a year-round mountain destination. And just remember to pack your skis when you visit. Or if skiing's not your thing, there's always Sindala, one of Neom's many beautiful islands, perfect for some R&R. And a line, a 500-meter high, 200-meter wide, 170-kilometer long city in the shape of, well, a line. No roads, cars, or emissions. And everything its 9 million residents could ever need within a 5-minute walk. But best of all, the entire region will offer unparalleled access to nature and will be powered by clean energy. All within easy reach of the rest of the world. I know what you're thinking. Why does the world need Neom?
That's a good question.
The world needs Neom because the world needs change. That's what we mean when we say
made to change.
Neom represents a global opportunity for one, changing how the world does business by making the region a special economic zone, easing the way for entrepreneurs to blaze their trail. Two, changing the way we live our lives with preventative healthcare and the highest standards of livability. Sounds nice, right? And three, changing how we look after nature and our planet. Because without this, what use are 1 and 2? But how will Neom achieve these aims, you may ask? Within Neom are 14 sectors, spearheaded by the world's best talent. Each sector has been designed to advance technology and push the very limits of human knowledge. Imagine Neom as a prototype for a better future, a future for all. One being built to last. Sound good? Great. So when the world asks, what is Neom? You'll know to answer that Neom's a place that'll change the way we live on this planet. Simple, really.
Isn't this exciting? It looks like we have a few people in the chat that can't wait to book their ticket to Neom. Highland and Denver seem excited about it. Here's Highland's comment. Oh man. Are they really going to get people to buy into this? Apparently they are. And I guess you're gonna live in your Neom smart city line, whether you like it or not. I don't know. Those reports, I forget even how many, like tens of thousands of workers have already been killed during trying to make this project over there in the desert. They have nice videos. How's it actually going to work in real life? I guess we'll have to wait and see. They're sure pouring a lot of money into it, that's for sure. And back to our friends from Palantir. Palantir is proud to deepen its ties with Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Palantir posted on their X account here. And so isn't this wonderful? What a match made in hell. Palantir and Saudi Arabia partnering up. So that's very wonderful. Excuse me. Oh, but there's more. Here's oh yeah, and at the end we got a nice little clip of a Palantir whistleblower has come out. Who knows how long that guy will be around, but we'll play that clip and interview for our continuing dives into Palantir. But here's a video right from Palantir posted on their X account at AIP Con. Yeah, they basically want to take over everything. And so we can't wait.
Well, they really make you feel like the 97 Chicago Bulls here, don't they?
When I entered the room this morning, I thought, wait a minute, it's only been 6 months since actually I was in the audience.
This is a moment that Palantir predicted. The only rule we care about in our products and working with you is your company becomes more valuable.
Zero chance for error when you're thinking about national security needs, space-based operations, hypersonic vehicles that have temperatures inside of them at 5,000 to 6,000 degrees.
America is absolutely unique country in the history of humanity. The way we fight is different than how other people fight.
And this is fundamentally about American competitiveness.
If we were to rely on humans solely to accept or reject these suggestions every 15 minutes across 4,000 stores that are already rolled out, that would amount to about 384 billion decisions every day.
I think about it in terms of agents being part of our workforce.
AT&T has been working with Palantir for well over 5 years, with over 39,000 people at AT&T having touched Foundry, with 8,500 active users every month, and over 600 different use cases.
It could happen to you as well, because Palantir is about speed.
That took me 5 minutes. A year ago, that would have taken us 15 people all day, calling distribution centers, manufacturing points, checking with individual restaurants, and then the beauty of it is we would come in the next day and done the exact same thing.
It really enables our medical coders to work at an unprecedented scale and speed on behalf of providers and physicians.
Gone from 20 million tickets a day that we have to look through and 7 different circuit sources, let alone all the other inventory systems, everything we have to bring together.
That was a revolutionary moment for us. To that point, everyone told us all of the reasons we couldn't do what we wanted to do. The moment that Palantir said yes, it was one of those times we're like, wait a minute, we're not crazy. We can actually do this.
No one wants to hear, oh, we didn't get you something because our MRP system was down or wrong. I told them what I didn't want. I did not want a dashboard to tell me I was in trouble. I didn't need an ERP, MRP system. Not that those are bad, but those are 5 years of implementation just to find out you did it wrong.
Foundry astounded our executives in a way that Lennar has never seen before.
We've organized our entire team around this. For the first time, the technology, or they call it like the IT organization, I'm a CIO, we are at the front and center of taking the company to a very different path.
There you go, rocking and rolling our way into dystopia as they build Skynet and eliminate humans along the way. The future's so bright, we got to wear, well. So the biggest deal announcement was the administration called the largest defense sales agreement in history. The nearly $142 billion agreement will provide the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia with state-of-the-art war-fighting equipment and services from over a dozen American defense industry companies. The White House also included a commitment from the Saudi company Data Vault to move forward with, again, plans to invest $20 billion in artificial intelligence data centers and energy infrastructure in America from the same country that attacked us on 9/11 or had a part in it, or their intelligence agencies did, to be more specific. And so we do appreciate the great partnership that we have with Palantir now. Republicans introduce a budget reconciliation bill that gives AI powers to Howard Lutnick, as we continue to discuss his, as Thomas loves to say, 800 shell companies around the world. and prohibit states from regulating AI for 10 years. When was this post made? It was made, where is it made? It was made yesterday. So yesterday, back to the top of the post, Congressman Brett Guthrie out of Kentucky, chairman of the House Committee on Energy and Commerce, announced a full committee markup on the committee's budget reconciliation text. And so wouldn't this be excited if the feds outlaw the states from having any regulation over AI for the next 10 years? That would be exciting. So there'll be no red tape or barriers in the way of building the technocracy. It's exciting times for us. Oh yeah, President Trump also, and making many compliments to the new reformed, moderate radical jihadist terrorist that is now the president of Syria, al-Shahrara. Here's a picture of him. Trump gave him many compliments, called him a fine, upstanding, good-looking young man. We don't know how many people he's beheaded, but we're sure that they all deserved it. And so, yeah, there you go. I don't know what we could want out of that intelligence asset. What more could you want? They went about the systematic extermination of Christians and others there in Syria. And so we should all praise them, as our president is, and will continue to do so. Because something tells me this guy's a puppet of Western intelligence. It's a continuing theme that we keep seeing over and over and over again. And what about Iran? Let's hear from Trump on Iran. Trump says, I want to make a deal with Iran. I want to do something if it's possible. But for that to happen, it must stop sponsoring terror. Halt its bloody proxy wars. Who else sponsors terror? I don't know. America? Who else sponsors proxy wars? I don't know. America? Let's hear from Trump here now on Iran.
I want to make a deal with Iran. I want to do something if it's possible. But for that to happen, it must stop sponsoring terror, halt its bloody proxy wars, and permanently and verifiably cease its pursuit of nuclear weapons. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. I don't imagine there's anybody at this table or anybody in this room that would say they can. I'm strongly urging all nations to join us in fully and totally enforcing the sanctions that I just placed on Iran, and we also placed secondary sanctions, which are in certain ways even more devastating. Iran, as you know, had no money when I left office. They were broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. There was no attack. There was no thought of attack. There would have been no attack if I were president.
But wait a minute. America and Aardvark Land created Hamas. Huh? Yep. Sorry to tell you that. But yeah, we put sanctions. U.S. announces new sanctions on Iran. Latest measure to target Tehran's ballistic missile program. Treasury targets Iran's efforts to domestically manufacture key ballistic missile components. So that's how you make a deal. You sanction the hell out of them. There you go. We do not need a war with Iran here. And it is interesting that Trump has backed off, it appears, for now, at least, aardvarks from attacking Iran, but we shall see how that all sorts out. Okay, on to, I know everybody was waiting for this. No, let's take the live commercial break. We're at the top of the hour here. Let's see. Yeah, everybody go to Weaponized News. Get yourself some stickers. Weaponizednews.com. A holograph sticker. The white background sticker right there. You can put it on your laptop, your guitar, your bumper, and spread the word about Weaponized News, independent reporting and analysis like no one else on the interwebs. Coming to you live Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern District Time. Join us at Weaponized News, break the mind control. Now let's go to a word from our sponsor, Abazaba Enterprises.
Running a small business feeling overwhelmed by numbers and paperwork? Abazaba Enterprises has your back. Our expert business solutions include accounting, QuickBooks support, payroll, taxes, and top-notch consulting. Let us handle the details so you can focus on growing your business. Business Solutions Accounting, QuickBooks, Consulting, Payroll, Taxes. Call 559-577-9250. Call Abazaba Enterprises today at 559-577-9250.
And we're back. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday edition of Weaponized News. Now into more of our dystopic future here. As they say on this post, your doctor, your lawyer, your accountant, not good news for me, your dental hygienist, your car mechanic, your plumber, your kid's teacher, and every factory worker will all be filing for unemployment thanks to this. And isn't this exciting? What Trump just said, we're getting 2 million jobs for who? The robots? This is Elon Musk's newest version. I think it's called Optimus. This is a dancing version. And imagine it weaponized with heavy armaments coming to force you to comply, to go into the 15-minute city or be terminated. So yeah, Musk made this in his garage, right? No, it came from the government, okay? DARPA and others. Here's Musk all about, Musk says AI won't just lead to universal basic income, but universal high income. Yeah, for the oligarchs and literally us either living in the 15-minute slave cities or being terminated. Let's hear from oligarch bro Musk here.
I think we're headed to a radically different world. I think a good world, an interesting world. My prediction actually for humanoid robots is that ultimately there will be tens of billions. I think everyone will want to have their personal robot. You can think of it like as though you had your own personal C-3PO or R2-D2, but even better. Then who wouldn't want to have their own personal C-3PO, R2-D2? That would be pretty great. I also think it unlocks an immense amount of economic potential, because when you think about like, what is the output of an economy, it is productivity per capita times population or capita. Once you have humanoid robots, the actual economic output potential is tremendous. It's really unlimited. Potentially, we could have an economy 10 times the size of the current global economy, where no one wants for anything. Sometimes in AI they talk about universal basic income. I think it's actually going to be universal high income, where anyone can have any goods or services that they want. Now, there obviously are some risks, which illustrate perhaps the if we don't do this right, you could have like a James Cameron sort of movie, Terminator. We don't want that one. But having sort of a Star Trek future would be great, where we're out there exploring the stars, discovering the nature of the universe, and a level of prosperity and hopefully happiness that we can't quite imagine yet.
I agree there, Denver, but Elon, the thing about Elon is he is a good front man for the technocracy, for the scientific dictatorship, and he does bring these products to market. So, but yeah, he's not running his 5 companies making humanoid robots in his garage, and all of this technology was given to him by the government. And he's a giant welfare queen, corporate welfare queen. And that's how he became a billionaire, not by pulling up his bootstraps and tinkering in his garage. I know, I'm sorry to tell you. Here, this is quite dystopic out of China now. We thought we had enough problems with America, Saudi Arabia. Well, China's also doing it. That's why it's called one world government, scientific dictatorship for the world. Robotic dogs, and it's always cute, right? Until they have rocket launchers on their back. But here's a cute little video of the robot dogs perform mechanical lion dances. Isn't this nice? Out of China now. And so that's so cute. They're warm and fuzzy. Don't forget how to stop a robot dog. We played that video. When did we even play that? I lost track. Monday or Friday, something like this. Okay, so here's the aforementioned data centers. Data center map. I don't know. This may become useful in the near future for jobs, of course. But take a look at how all of this is going to be powered. Essentially, the Hunger Games society, dare I say. Either go in your smart city and be controlled there, or live at the outer gates in the wild and be hunted down by the Terminator. Humanoid robots, dogs, drones, and the like. But here is a map of current U.S. data centers around America, and this is how they're powering all of this scientific dictatorship, technocracy, with all the data they stole from us. And so isn't this wonderful? There you go. Looks like the highest concentration right there in Virginia. Right in Virginia, huh? So yeah, find your local data center there for a job that AI will take from you any day now. Continuing on to California news, the 4th largest economy, as they tell us, with their rigged GDP numbers. So old Gavin Newsom, California psycho, just never-ending lies, never seems to see any repercussions from the never-ending lies. Now, he touted how healthcare is a human right, and we're going to provide healthcare for all, even the undocumented immigrants here, illegal aliens in California, which shouldn't even be here in the first place. But don't you worry, taxpayers, citizens of California, actually born in this state, you get to pay for it. But now it turns out, LA Times tells us Gavin Newsom walks back free healthcare for eligible undocumented immigrants. Really? That's a striking change of direction? Well, it turns out facing a budget deficit, Governor Gavin Newsom is proposing changes to California's programs to provide free health care coverage to low-income undocumented immigrants. The cost of coverage for immigrants has exceeded state estimates by billions of dollars. I know math's hard, it's conspiracy theory, it's racist, but you would think with all the cabillions, they could hire someone that can, work a calculator and add up the numbers, but it seems very challenging here in the state of California. And so after never-ending lies, like always, and never faces any repercussions for his never-ending lies, he's walking back this lie he made to illegal aliens, in large part pandering for votes in California. Let's go now to a clip from Gavin Newsom at his press conference today, where he's completely unhinged rant, wondering how politicians get reelected that leave homeless people on the street to die, as this has been his campaign promise for the last 20 years in government, plus that he's going to clean up homelessness, and it's only progressively gotten worse here in California. Let's hear now from Gavin Newsom press conference today, where he's touting his May budget revise.
Just on behalf of the taxpayers of the state, in the spirit of Ashley's question, I'm not interested. I'm just not, as a taxpayer, not just governor, I'm not interested in funding failure anymore. I'm not. I won't. Time to do your job. People are dying on their watch. Dying on their watch. How do people get reelected? Look at these encampments. They're a disgrace. They've been there years and years and years and years. I've heard that same rhetoric for years. People are dying. Kids are being born. Overdoses. I met a young man, literally, was out there doing Project Homeless Connect, reaching out near the 405 freeway. I found out the next day he was dead. In the name of compassion, because we had a notice. I could have helped him that night. I felt like a fraud. I felt like I let him down. We got to be more aggressive. I saw a young child, a young kid in San Diego. He was with the mayor of San Diego right before his State of the State. This poor kid was addicted to meth. He was a wonderful kid. And he said, I'm really glad you came. He goes, I'm struggling. And there in the tent with his wife was a newborn baby. He said, thank you for coming. There's no compassion in denying what the hell's going on in the streets and sidewalks. They need to step up. Enough of the rhetoric. I'm serious. Enough of the rhetoric. People are dying in this state. It is a disgrace. It is one of the principal reasons people are so angry. They don't trust politicians. They don't like what they see. I'm sorry to get so intense about it. It's a moral issue. They need to do their job. And if they can't do it, let me know. Just say we give up. And then we'll intervene. We'll come up with different strategies and different approaches. But I'm sick and tired of all the barriers and all the BS.
It's literally him. It's his party. They control the whole state supermajority. It's just... He's going to feign outrage now at his own policies have created this nightmare. It's just, yeah, how does he get reelected? I wonder. It's a miracle. Oh, but there's more. Should we even play this? Yeah, no. Yeah, let's play it. The big May revise. They do this every year, and people still, they can't figure it out. Oh, you mean you guys lied about the budget? Math's hard and racist? Yeah. Newsom press conference today. Like, how do you get reelected when you say you have a $363 million surplus, and it turns out you actually have a $16 billion deficit? Like, how do you get reelected on that BS lies, Mr. California Psycho Gavin Newsom? I don't know.
Met in this room, we estimated we said it was in essence a balanced budget, $363 million. That was the estimate in the January presentation. all things being equal. Interestingly, since January, the presentation that I provided you had a revenue projection, and we were off. We were significantly off. The revenue that came in from January through April exceeded our expectation by $7.9 billion. The economy of California was humming. An additional $7.9 billion above our projections we were collecting. That has significantly changed since the actions of this administration.
It's just too much, man. The level of lying is just too much. Here's a classic, Gavin Newsom's greatest hits. Let's watch this one.
The hell's going on? Clean it up.
You've heard him bloviate on TV, interviews, and social media, but never before have all his failures been brought together in one collection.
We all need to self-medicate periodically.
The people that brought you Biden's blunders and Kamala's cackles now proudly present Gavin Newsom's greatest hits.
This whole damn border debate is made up. It's made up.
And who could forget?
Well, finally, California is going to get it right with this new high-speed rail.
Timeless classics.
If we can just get everybody vaccinated that's not vaccinated, that's refusing to get vaccinated, that's living vaccine-free and impacting the rest of us. It's like drunk drivers.
And cliches.
These are organized gangs of people that are coming out, and forgive me for saying gangs. I know that's not a pejorative. They're organized groups of folks.
Everyone's favorite.
Deeply sorry about that. I've hurt someone I care deeply about, Alex Turk, his friends and family.
Platitudes.
I thought I was dumb. And we look like a third world country. We haven't been looking that good in the last few decades in this state.
And failures like.
And that's why we established this framework, what we call a 10-year plan to end chronic homelessness in San Francisco.
Order Gavin Newsom's greatest hits by calling 1-916-445-2841. Gavin Newsom's greatest hits, not available in store.
It's just too much, man. It's too much. Yeah, how do these politicians win elections, Mr. Gavin Newsom? I wonder. I think we've covered it extensively here. It's not really my issue because the government wins every election. So, is my stance on it. Okay, Bobby Kennedy Jr. today testifying was protested. Let's watch this. Protester scares Bobby Kennedy Jr. Screams that he's killing people with AIDS. I think that was probably before. I think that's still a hangover from Fauci, but what the hell? I guess he's killing people with AIDS too. I mean, that's kind of their thing in government healthcare. Let's watch the protester startle and Bobby Kennedy Jr. here today.
The budget I'm presenting today supports these goals and reflects.
The witness will suspend. The committee will come to order. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room. Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be tolerated. Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be permitted while the committee conducts its business. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room.
And that's the Ben and Jerry's guy yelling about Gaza. I don't really know if that was the right protest. And maybe Bobby Kennedy did give people AIDS when he was a heroin addict and they shared dirty needles. I don't know where they're getting this from. But first I've heard of this. He's an Aardvark supporter. I don't know. It kind of ties together, but kind of not. And again, undermining your protest efforts here. Not really on point there with the protest. Very confusing. Yeah, I don't know. So Ben & Jerry's co-founder, Ben Cohen, was arrested for protesting Aardvark's genocide of Gaza during RFK Jr.'s hearing. He doesn't really have anything to do with foreign policy. It's kind of off the mark, in my opinion, here with this protest. I do enjoy the protest of just the simple fact of interrupting the BS government hearings, but at least have your protests be on point in the right committee hearings, something to do with foreign policy. This is like public health, kind of really off the mark. And I don't know, did Bobby Kennedy Jr. give people AIDS? He's killing people with AIDS? I don't know. Maybe. I haven't heard that claim until today. So that happened. But here he is calling out the government utter corruption and fraud at NIH. Bobby Kennedy states main reason, no Alzheimer's cure. We don't have it purely because of corruption at NIH.
To you about scientific corruption all day long, about horror stories that we know have happened within NIH. One of those, probably the worst, is the amyloid plaque scandal. For 20 years, because of utter corruption and fraud, we were directing Alzheimer's research to one hypothesis, and any other hypothesis was shut down. We should have the cure for Alzheimer's today. We don't have it purely because of corruption at NIH.
That's a pretty bold claim. Okay, on to the next. Gain of function canard continues here. Gain of function research has no place in civilized society. Let's hear the rest from Bobby Kennedy Jr.
We've also proposed a methodology for regulating and for determining what is dangerous gain of function and what is legitimate scientific investigation, and how to bring the public into that debate, which I think, as you point out, is absolutely critical. That is where we messed up last time. And as you know, we have some of the Democrats here who are, talking about the great science from NIH, but now we have a major agency, intelligence agency, the CIA, the FBI, the DOE, and the State Department have all agreed that NIH research almost certainly led to the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. So that's not the kind of the result that we should be allowing or enabling, and we're going to end that now.
But yet no one gets in trouble from the government. I think this is the last clip from Bobby Kennedy Jr. He says that his agency spent trillions of dollars and Americans got sicker. Trust the science and trust your doctor.
The budget for my agency increased by 38% over the Biden administration, and Americans got sicker, and more Americans overdosed, and more Americans died from cancer. And we have now an epidemic of colorectal cancers in our children. And the chronic disease rate is now going up to 60%. The autism rate has dropped to 1 in 31 children. And all that money that was supposed to cure those diseases or avert them, none of it worked. All we need is leadership and a new vision, and I'm bringing that to my agency. So we're actually doing more with less, and we are going to continue to do that. And what I'm doing at my agency is I'm realigning all these perverse incentives that have driven up costs and driven down health. I'm realigning so that people can make money in this country and markets can make money.
And yet the miracle is still on the market there, as we covered yesterday. All right. On to our international geopolitical section of the show. As we've been reporting, there is a lot of chaos going on in Libya, Tripoli especially. Chaos in Tripoli as gunshots ring out. Crowds demand resignation of provisional government Prime Minister Biba. So that is going on in Libya right now. Libya's UN-backed government announces a ceasefire plan in Tripoli with neutral forces to separate warring factions and protect civilians. So all of that is kicking off right now there in Libya. Violence between UN-backed government and militias has been igniting over the last few days there in Libya. And there's a few videos. We won't even show them. That's about Libya. Okay, moving on to Turkey. Little Marco has arrived there as previously, as I said at the beginning of the show, to attend NATO informal foreign ministers meeting. Isn't that wonderful? That little Marco showed up. There he is. It's being reported now that the most evil man in the world, Putin, will not be attending the peace negotiations there in Istanbul, Turkey with Zelensky. I don't know. There's reports he will. There's reports he won't. There's reports Trump will go. There's reports Trump won't go. There's reports that Zelensky will. I think all the reports I saw said Zelensky will go, but who knows? Will the thing even happen? Who knows? They're back and forth. Ceasefire, maybe yes, maybe no. They're still shooting each other. I don't know. Let's just say conflicting reports as we await the alleged peace conference there in Turkey between Ukraine and Russia. Let's pray for peace, but who knows? Who knows what goes on here? India, Pakistan, looks like they stopped shooting at each other for the moment, but there's still little flare-ups. This now on the India-Myanmar border, 10 militants killed in fighting on India's border with Myanmar. India's Eastern Command says operations still in progress, sizable quantity of arms and ammunition confiscated. Here's the post by India's Eastern Command. As little hotspots all around that region are flaring up. Okay, on to everybody's favorite part of the show, the Aardvark genocide report here now. And look at this. I'm surprised Trump's not selling these. Don't give him any ideas. He may start. Holy air. You can breathe in Holy Land literally for just $29 on eBay. You can own a can of Holy Air. It boasts 65% Jerusalem, 18% Bethlehem, 17% Nazarene, with a bonus pinches of Galilee and the desert. And so here's a video of the Holy Air, and we're waiting for Trump to start selling these as well. You can buy a literal can of Holy Air. An empty can of Holy Air, and we're waiting for Trump to start selling that. Take 2 breaths daily, recommended. Get yours $29 on eBay. Okay, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez refers to Aardvark land as a genocidal state during a parliamentary session, adding that Spain has no trade with it, prompting aardvarks to summon the Spanish ambassador for formal rebuke. Let's watch this clip.
También le puntualizo una cosa, señor Rufián. Nosotros no comerciamos con un Estado genocida. No lo hacemos, señoría. Y creo que el otro día, desde esta tribuna, explicité precisamente de qué estábamos hablando, cuando se hablaba de algunas cosas que no se ajustan a la verdad. Y finalmente, señoría, hombre, decir que nosotros hemos estado con un silencio cómplice ante los ataques, perdone que lo diga, llevamos sufriendo los 7 años.
And here's old Trump again, talking about the Houthis. We did a good job with the Houthis. They stopped with the shooting of our ships. They liked shooting down ships. They didn't particularly like it. They said it's because of the blockade and genocide in Gaza. But Trump, that seems to, that point of fact seems to always miss Trump.
We did a good job with the Houthis. They stopped with the shooting of the ships. They like shooting ships down.
They like shooting ships. Oh my gosh. Trump accuses Hamas of raping, murdering, and torturing innocent people. Again, Hamas could buy America and Aardvark land. Okay.
My administration shares the hope of so many in this region for future of safety and dignity of the Palestinian people, but that cannot happen as long as Gaza's leaders take delight in raping, torturing, and murdering innocent people. Can't have it. I greatly appreciate the constructive role that the leaders in this room have played in trying to bring the terrible conflict to an end, including by helping secure the release of American hostage Edan Alexander. It was a big day yesterday, a very important day. I was told just before I left that they were going to be releasing Edan. We thought Edan was dead. 3 weeks ago, they said Edan was no longer living. And it was a very, very good thing. Ultimately, all hostages of all nationalities must be released as a stepping stone to peace, and I think it's going to be happening. A lot of things are happening, a lot of very positive things.
A little projection there from Trump. Okay, here's Shadow President Bibi. There will be no situation where we stop the war. That's a quote from Netanyahu. He says the IDF is planning to enter Gaza with full force in the coming days. Let's play the clip here now.
לא רוצה להגיד דברים, אנחנו בימים קרובים מאוד נכנסים בכל העוצמה להשלים את המהלך. להשלים את המהלך זה להכניע את החמאס. זה להשמיד את החמאס. אבל לא יהיה מצב שאנחנו נפסיק את המלחמה, אני לא אומר, אתה יכול לעשות הפסקת אש לזמן ידוע, אבל אתה לא יכול, אנחנו הולכים עד הסוף. אנחנו הקמנו מנהלת שתאפשר להם לצאת, אבל הבעיה אצלנו זה דבר אחד, אין לך, אתה צריך מדינות קולטות. את זה אנחנו עובדים כרגע.
There you go, his firm commitment to continue the genocide, ethnic cleansing, and Greater Aardvark Land project. And yeah, Aardvark Land launches deadly new strikes on Gaza. And that's, well, let's play the clip. That's today. Here's ABC News. Let's play this clip. They're going to eradicate Hamas, even though it's been admitted you can never defeat an idea, a political ideology, which Hamas is. And so you can never defeat it, but they're going to make damn sure that there's no more Palestinians on that land.
Now to breaking news overseas. The deadly new Israeli strikes on Gaza overnight. Tom Sufi Burge is in Tel Aviv for us this morning. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Michael. Yeah, Israel overnight launching a series of deadly strikes in Gaza, killing around 70 people and more than 20 children, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry. Now, it follows separate Israeli strikes on 2 Gaza hospitals Tuesday, and Israeli officials saying one attack targeted a top Hamas leader. It comes after President Trump signaled a significant policy shift on Gaza, saying he's now working to end the war. Ceasefire negotiations are underway in Qatar today, where the president is heading next. And French President Macron launching a blistering attack on Israel's aid blockade of Gaza, calling it a, quote, disgrace. For now, Israel doubling down on its threat to escalate the war. The question right now, guys, is will President Trump be able to force Israel's prime minister to stop the war, to end the suffering, and free the remaining...
I think we answered that question already. Well, Bibi answered it for us. No, he's not going to be able to. And, yeah, what's the big deal? Killed 70, 20 children. They're all Hamas. They're born terrorists, they told us. Aardvark's target Hamas leader, Mohamed Sinwar, in hospital strike in Gaza. Let's play this clip. I think this is, yeah, CNN.
Israel targeted Hamas leader Mohamed Sinwar in an airstrike on a hospital on Tuesday, according to a senior Israeli official. The Israeli military said it struck an underground command center beneath the hospital. It has not yet confirmed whether Sinwar was killed. One hospital official told CNN it was a, quote, catastrophe, with people buried under the rubble. Sinwar is believed to be one of the main planners of the October 7th terror attack on Israel. He became Hamas's de facto leader in Gaza after his older brother, Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar, was killed by the Israeli military last October. Both leaders had remained elusive during much of the war. The strike comes as the U.S. had expressed optimism about upcoming negotiations between Israel and Hamas to secure a new ceasefire. But the targeting of Sinwar means Israel just attempted to kill Hamas's key decision-maker.
See, that's how you do negotiations, is you kill the negotiators and say, no deal could be made. We must bomb everything. See how they do it? Yeah. That's how they do it. Qatar says Aardvark land's recent attacks in Gaza show they are not interested in negotiating a ceasefire. You think? You think that's like all-time stating the obvious here? And even if they say ceasefire, it doesn't mean jack. It doesn't mean jack, man. Reuters reports that to us. Stating the obvious, the self-evident there. Thank you very much, Qatar. And then that guy in that ABC report, he said Qatar. It's Qatar, damn it. Stop changing the name. Like they change Kiev to Kiev and Qatar to Qatar. Tired of this, man. Tired of this. Yeah, Aardvark land renewed attacks on southern Gaza Strip. There's video. It's just it's bombs and smoke and more leveling of the place. And that is all we have for today. We do have this video though. It's about what, 16 minutes of essentially a whistleblower from Palantir. I worked at Palantir, the tech company. Reshaping Reality is the name of the video. And it's been out, it came out about, I want to say 3 weeks ago, but I barely saw it come across Weaponized News desk, I want to say over the weekend, and we barely had time to get to it. But I think it is significant and worth listening to the breakdown here about this former Palantir employee essentially blowing the whistle about how damn evil Palantir is. It's as we continue to report and sound the alarm about the evils of Palantir, the new head essentially of the military-industrial complex, or very up-and-coming company at the least, you could say, heading up AI operations within our government, where their founder, or not founder, CEO, Karp, brags that his company kills people. Seems very ethical to me. So I did not get a chance to break down. I will try to get to it tomorrow. I know everyone's waiting in anticipation of the this Chinese white paper that they put out, China's national security in the new era. I'll try to bring that to you tomorrow and not be so dry with it, but I do think it's significant that we should report on it and not let it just go by the wayside here. So with that, let me go to the channels. I do see a lively chat there in the Rumble chat. Thank you, everyone, for keeping that lively. Shout out to the Rumble audience. We do appreciate you here on Weaponized News, keeping the chats lively. Let's check out if anybody's in the Odysee. John is there. Shout out to you, John. No one else is in there with you, John. MI is Michigan, he told me. Oh, I said that guy was from Missouri, I think, earlier. That wacky congressman. Thank you for giving me that abbreviation, John. He's from Michigan. Our wacky, what's this guy's name again? Shuri Thandar out of Michigan, Democrat. It's between him and old Jasmine Crockett, my favorite politicians now, because we are in clown world idiocracy, and so what better to represent us than these clown world idiots? Okay, so again, thank you, John, for tuning in on the Odysee, and everyone else. Too bad we didn't have much chat there. We are missing Barry. We haven't seen Barry all week. I'm gonna have to email Barry and check in on him and make sure everything's okay. He did tell me that he has a life outside of the interweb, so we do respect and appreciate that, but he needs to get back in here and hype up the chat rooms. So I'm going to email him and check in on Barry, and hopefully everything is good with him. But again, thank you for joining us on the Odysee, the Bitchute. A few people over there, thank you for joining us on the Bitchute. And again, reminder, go watch yesterday's show if you missed it. It was quite the banger. And here's the thumbnail from it. And it was, we laid it all out in there. We laid it all out in there with the peer-reviewed scientific studies. And yeah, where we're at here 5 years later with the whole bat problem. And it's quite horrific indeed. So thank you for tuning in on the Bitchute, the X, the Facebook, the YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. And now we're going to sign off of YouTube because they say this is third party blah 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 to play this clip. It's only 16 minutes, and I think we've put it in very well context, made it transformative for fair use. They don't care. So if you're on the YouTube, go over to the Rumble or Odysee or Facebook or X and catch this last 16-minute clip of the Palantir Whistleblower. I think it is important. We're signing off of YouTube now. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.